Fans need to see this, don't they? We need to see this. Players need to see this. Are you now comfortable? Obviously, you're showing us tonight, and it's the first time that we've ever seen it. What's it going to take for you to make that decision, whereby after a game where there's been a controversial incident or there's been something that people don't like, where you just release the footage transparently of the big decisions, that you just put the communication out later on that night, that would probably clear up that it's just genuinely an error that's been made, a human error.
We're making a small step forward. So going forward into the next season, we'll be looking to do more of the same. We can't play it live in-game. That's not allowed within the laws of the game. FIFA don't allow us to play this out during the game. Who knows where that might go in the future. But there's nothing to stop us doing what we're doing tonight and showing that information later. And I hope tonight's, been a good insight as we've drawn that curtain back to reveal the way that the officials work together as a team, how they communicate.
And this hugely controversial incident. The referees' body, PGMOL, have admitted a significant human error was made after VAR failed to overturn the incorrect on-field decision. And that actually was one of a number of refereeing decisions questioned after the game. But let's just remind you, if you haven't seen it, of what happened. Checked by VAR, but following a very short review period in which a replay was shown without lines, as you see here, the decision overturned, something we now know occurred in error. Didn't see them on the TV, but we understand the VAR officials did draw the lines. But the error centred around the VAR having the belief that the on-field decision was given. VAR gave a check complete message to the referee. Check complete, he says. So the on-field call stands, even though the VAR thought he was confirming.
The storm surrounding the latest North London controversy has only grown louder after Howard Webb admitted that a significant VAR mistake occurred during Arsenal's heated clash with Tottenham Hotspur. What was already a boiling debate has now turned into full-blown outrage among supporters, pundits, and neutrals across the Premier League. The moment in question came during a tense phase of the derby when Arsenal players appealed passionately for a penalty after what appeared to be clear contact inside Tottenham's penalty area. The referee waved play on, and when VAR reviewed the incident, officials chose not to send the referee to the monitor. Within seconds of the replay circulating, fans erupted online, many convinced that Arsenal had been denied a crucial spot kick in one of the season's most emotionally charged fixtures. What has made the situation even more explosive is Webb's subsequent review of the incident. Speaking as part of the Professional Game Match Officials Limited's regular assessment of decisions, he acknowledged that the VAR team should have intervened. According to Webb, the threshold for a clear and obvious error had been met, meaning the on-field decision should have been formally reviewed. While the admission was measured in tone, its implications were unmistakable. The system designed to eliminate glaring mistakes had failed in a defining derby moment. For Arsenal supporters, the confirmation brings little comfort. Points lost in February cannot be restored in May, and in a title race where margins are microscopic, moments like this carry enormous consequences. Many fans feel a familiar frustration, arguing that this is not an isolated incident but part of a worrying pattern of contentious calls involving the club in recent seasons. Social media has been flooded with slowed-down clips, freeze frames, and heated debates, with many insisting the contact inside the box was too obvious to ignore. The controversy has also reignited broader questions about VAR's effectiveness. When the technology was introduced, it was sold as the solution to clear refereeing mistakes, a digital safety net for high-stakes matches. Yet episodes like this continue to expose the uncomfortable truth that human interpretation still sits at the heart of the process. The cameras may be precise, but the decisions remain subjective. Critics across the football community have pointed repeatedly to the same structural concerns: inconsistent application of the intervention threshold, limited real-time transparency for fans inside the stadium, and hesitation from VAR officials in high-pressure moments. Each new controversy chips away further at public confidence, and Webb's admission, while transparent, also reinforces the perception that errors are still slipping through the net too often. There is also the emotional weight of the fixture itself. Arsenal versus Tottenham is never just another game. It is one of English football's fiercest rivalries, where momentum swings and fine margins often define the narrative. When a major officiating error becomes part of that story, it inevitably magnifies the backlash. Supporters do not merely see a mistake, they see a moment that may have altered the psychological and competitive balance of the match. Webb has stressed that PGMOL continues to refine training and review processes, and that lessons are taken from every high-profile error. But patience among fans appears to be thinning. Many are now calling for greater accountability, including live VAR audio releases or more immediate post-match explanations when major incidents occur. The demand is no longer just for accuracy, but for transparency that supporters can trust in real time. For Arsenal, the focus will inevitably return to performances on the pitch, but the sense of injustice is unlikely to fade quickly. If the title race or European qualification picture tightens in the coming months, this moment will almost certainly resurface in debates about fine margins and costly decisions. What Webb's admission ultimately confirms is what many viewers felt the instant the replay rolled. The system meant to protect fairness did not deliver when it mattered most. Whether this becomes a turning point that drives meaningful VAR reform, or simply another controversy added to an ever-growing list, remains uncertain. What is clear is that scrutiny on future decisions, especially those involving Arsenal, will now be even more intense, and the pressure on officials has rarely been higher.